Damien OConnor.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Biosecurity. Does he have confidence in his ministry's ability to protect New Zealand from biosecurity risks?
Honourable David Carter.
Mr Speaker, generally speaking, yes, particularly when you consider the enormity of the task ahead of us in protecting New Zealand's biodiversity and biosecurity.
The Honourable Damien OConnor.
Mr Speaker, why then did he reassure this House just last year that his government's policies would, quote, significantly strengthen and enhance our biosecurity system, when last week an independent report stated there were 29 deficiencies in the biosecurity processing of imported raw pig meat imports, including the import risk assessment?
The Honourable David Carter.
Mr Speaker, the issue to which the member is referring to is the import health standard for pork imports into this country. We have received quite recently a very substantial report, 67 pages, which is detailed and wants further work before we conclude. What I am intent on doing is solving this issue with a lasting solution. This is something that started before 2005, to which the previous government simply turned its back on it. What I want to achieve is a way we can meet our obligations by demanding good access for exports, meet our obligations by allowing fair importation into New Zealand, but at the same time balancing the need to protect New Zealand's biosecurity.
The Honourable Damien OConnor.
Mr Speaker, given this is the second time that an independent review panel has found his department's import safety risk assessment to be deficient, to protect New Zealand, will the Minister suspend all imports of raw pork products, as happened with beef product imports from Australia, until all the panel's recommendations have been addressed? And if not, why not?
The Honourable David Carter.
As I said to the member, we will analyse this very complicated report with care. We have, as of the end of last year, established 737 import health standards without difficulty. We have two challenges which we inherited from the previous Labor government around the importation of honey and pork products, and I will consider them with care, accepting advice from my biosecurity officials.
The Honourable Damien OConnor.
Mr Speaker, given the UN Food and Agricultural Organisation's recent advisory that governments undertake, quote, a re-examination of possible routes of entry and measures to enforce controls and more rigorous checks at ports and airports, unquote, in order to protect against a heightened threat of foot and mouth, will he reinstate the 56 frontline biosecurity staff that he sacked last year?
The Honourable David Carter.
Well, the first point I want to make to that member is there has been no cut to government funding at the front line whatsoever. Mr Speaker, as soon as we were aware of notified foot and mouth outbreaks in both Japan and Korea, we heightened awareness at the border. We increased our profiling of visitors coming through from those countries. But the point I think Mr O'Connor needs to be aware of, our biosecurity shouldn't respond just to incursions that occur in Asia when they occur, because frankly foot and mouth is prevalent throughout those continents at all times. And our systems at the border need to be prepared to manage that risk, not only when we're notified, but on the assumption that foot and mouth is in China and Japan and Korea at all times.
The Honourable Damien OConnor.
Point of order, Mr Speaker. I seek leave to table two documents, Mr Speaker. The first one being report of independent review panel on the provisional import health standards for pig meat and pig meat products into New Zealand.
Sought to table that document. Is there any objection? There is no objection.
It is a document, it is notification for importers of importing beef products from Australia, Mr Speaker. It is an import health standard that advises the industry they can no longer import beef products from Australia.
Leave us sought to table that document. Is there any objection? There is no objection. Question number 11, the Honourable Tau Hanare.
Mr Speaker.